You are now listening to the IELTS podcast. Learn from tutors and ex-examiners who are masters of IELTS preparation. Your host, Ben Worthington.
Hello there, podcast listeners. In this episode, we're going to talk with Marco, who has recently passed his IELTS. He's very happy, and he's going to just explain what he did and how he improved his score and everything like that. So, welcome to the podcast, Marco.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody.
And we were just talking before, me and Marco. I was just asking if he's ready to be an international celebrity, and he's more than prepared. Okay, then. So, Marco, can you just give us a brief overview about your situation? Like, because you're an Italian student living in Ireland, is that right?
Yes, it is.
Right then.
Yes. So at the moment I'm doing a master's research in philosophy in Limerick.
Mm-hmm.
I applied for. I'm supposed to finish the master in few months, and I applied for a PhD in Belfast, so in Northern Ireland.
Right.
The college there, Queen's University, asked me for IELTS.
Mm-hmm.
IELTS test. I told them, listen, for the time I'm gonna have a degree in an English-speaking country. So do I really need IELTS? And the answer was yes, absolutely. So there was no discussion about it. They wanted IELTS at all costs. Okay.
Yeah.
But I got this information pretty, let's say, late.
Mm-hmm.
I started. So around the middle of November, I booked my IELTS exam for the 10th of January, 2015. Mm-hmm. So you can see that I studied less than 2 months, basically, not too much.
Mm-hmm.
So IELTS offered this online program that is, I don't remember the name anyway. You can type your email and your identification number or code or whatever. Mm-hmm. And this program that they have gives you free exercises, free practice and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately understood that IELTS, especially academic IELTS, which was the IELTS that I was gonna do, is pretty challenging. It's pretty demanding. It's not a thing that you can pass, by chance or being lucky.
Yeah.
You have to study it. I mean, you can have a very, very good English, an excellent English. You can be even a mother tongue, we call it.
Mm-hmm.
You can even get a bad score.
Yeah.
So I started to get books, and but books don't really give any. Books are good, but they don't really give any feedback, any interactive feedback. And there was a big flaw, I think, because language is an interactive thing. It's a thing that you have to practice to live.
Yeah.
And so I kept studying on the books, but I searched on the internet for something that could help me with writing, because books can give you some feedback on the first two IELTS tests, which are listening and reading.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really give you any feedback on speaking and writing.
Absolutely.
So I wrote something like IELTS podcast or IELTS writing, I don't remember, and your website is the first one on Google.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I look at your offer, and it looked good, and the price was not too high. Actually, it's very reasonable, I think, because you anyway offer tutoring, and usually tutoring is pretty expensive if you go to some language center or things like that.
Absolutely.
And immediately when I got your guide, I understood that I was doing everything wrong. Yeah, because actually I am sharing an apartment with another person. This person is an English speaker. He has a very, very good English. His English is perfect, but he doesn't know anything about IELTS. So at the first days when I wrote my essays, he said, the words that he said to me were, "Yes, Marco, your grammar is good. I mean, it's comprehensible and all the rest. But I don't know if they will like it, because I don't know what they exactly want from you." Right? I have no idea. So he said something like, "For me, it's a 7 or a 7.5, but I don't know for them." It was terrifying,
Yeah.
So I met you on the internet. And I immediately thought, I don't think you have to think too much about these things, because I really wanted to pass this exam. I needed a 6.5, and I wanted to pass it. I did not want to do the exam again. It would have been a tragedy, even from an emotional point of view.
Of course.
And so I didn't think too much about it, and I got your guide.
1 second. Well, 2 questions before we continue. First of all, how much does it cost to take the IELTS exam in Dublin at the moment?
I paid €193.
Okay, so about €200.
Yeah.
Okay then, I see, yeah. All right, and the second thing, if I remember correctly, first of all, you took the €1 essay check.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you got some feedback on that, and then decided to buy the whole sentence guide.
Yes, exactly, because that really gave me the final input, I decided to buy your guide, because it was correction totally different that my friend gave me.
Slightly different, no?
I would say totally different. I mean, the grammar is the same, but what you said, was true. While at least at the end, it was proved true. That is, they want from you a specific layout, a specific structure in your writing, and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So the guide gave me basically the possibility to practice on writing.
Yeah.
And it was essential at the end.
Yeah. What was the most valuable that you got from the guide? What was the most value you got from it for you personally?
Personally, was the interaction that we had. I say this because I have studied in Italy. When I was in Italy, I've studied English for 2 years without speaking with anybody, with any really English speaker. And basically, in 2 years, I've learned almost nothing. I mean, grammar rules, grammatical principles, but like abstract concepts without application. I think that to study for IELTS, interaction with a person who knows what to do and what IELTS requires is essential. So I think that is the main let's say feature, positive feature of the package that I got. That I actually wrote something, and I got feedback on my mistakes, basically. On my mistakes, negative side, and positive side on what I did, what I was, on the points that I succeeded, on the good points that I have, and so how to improve even more these good points, and how to correct. So I think interaction is essential. I think IELTS is it also from an emotional point of view. I think this point does not have to be underestimated, because the exam is actually challenging, also from an emotional point of view. So you need to have at least some solid ground, certain basis that that gives you a certain clear and reliable judgment regarding your ability. You do what you are able not to do.
Absolutely.
So that's it.
Fantastic. And
also,
go on, sorry.
Yeah. Also, another point is your guide also encouraged me to study more for the other sections, because I think what you write in your guide gives you anxiety, but in a positive sense. Not maybe anxiety is not the right term. Let's say, here we go. What you write in the guide gives you a clear idea of what IELTS is, which it is a challenging, demanding exam that needs to be prepared in a certain focused, systematic way, not only for writing but also for the others. Before the guide, I was studying reading and listening somewhat superficially.
I see.
So after getting the guide and after knowing and listening to what you were saying, in the audios, I realized, okay, these people are very demanding. So these people are really tough people. So you really need to study systematically and specifically for IELTS exam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Specific requirements different from other exams.
Yeah.
So these are the good points, I think that.
I'm glad. I had never heard that before. But thank you for that, Marco. I'll take that as a compliment. My guide. It makes people.
It would be a compliment.
I'm happy. Yeah, so many people are going to be so anxious now. It's awesome.
No, but if I can say something more about that, sometimes pressure is good.
Absolutely.
I think you agree about that, because when you have a lot of time, your mindset is different, and you go like, I have so much time, I'll do that tomorrow. When you're under pressure, when you're worried about it, you just do it without
Exactly.
Do it, and you do it good, you do it well.
Exactly. Yeah, you take action and you take on board the advice. You take action and you start putting a plan into place, and that's where we get results from. And that's where from action we can get results. So that's a good point. And I was just about to ask you.
Sure.
You were saying before. Well, first of all, what was your grade in the end for your writing?
The college asked me to take at least a 6.5. I got a 7. So
wow, happy days.
And I studied, as I said, I studied less than 2 months. With other things, because I'm also doing other things at my master's research I'm doing at the moment, and in this time I also went to Italy, visiting my family. So more time wasted, So it was a very interesting time.
I guess so. Then doing it all online enabled you to travel and sort of like prepare at the same time.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah.
Also, the audios that you have are helpful, because even if you don't put attention too much to them. You just hear the same thing again and again. Stuck it in your mind, so that you do it after.
It's always amazing, like what people get from the same type of material. Like just talking with you, you're saying it made me anxious. It made me anxious to study the other stuff, and just even I listened to it without even paying attention, just over and over and over again. I didn't know that would happen, because
It's unconscious learning,
yeah. That's fantastic.
So the score was 7 and was 7.5 for reading, 7.5 for listening, 7 for writing, and 6.5 for speaking.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's surprising. Were you nervous on the exam day?
You mean surprising 7.5 for the speaking?
You said 7.5 for speaking.
Yeah, 7.5.
I was going to say, I understood 6.5. That's why I was like surprised.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I apologize. I mean 6.5, yeah.
For the speaking?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of I'm surprised. I'd have thought it would have been higher.
Yeah, I was surprised too.
What happened?
I don't think I was nervous. Probably I don't actually remember what I said because I was so tired.
Okay, yeah.
The reading, the listening, the reading, and the writing. I was so tired that I don't even remember what I said. So, but I probably recall a couple of things that I have said which are pretty stupid, and yeah.
Yeah, no,
She has been a bit too mean. But anyway, who cares?
Yeah.
Did the overall, my college wanted the overall.
Exactly, yeah.
6.5 overall. I got a 7, so.
Yeah. You asked them, do I really have to take it? They said yes, 6.5 minimum. You came back with the 7. Happy days.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well done, Marco. Well done, mate. Okay. Right. I was just got one more thing to say before we finish. Do you have any tips that really helped you pass the exam? Do you have any advice for anybody who's preparing to take the exam in the future? What would you say to them?
What I will say to them is related to what I said before regarding interaction. I think that IELTS test can be. That a person can be successful doing IELTS test because of thanks to a combination of factors.
Mm-hmm.
I think interaction is essential, and these people, especially if they don't live in English-speaking countries, they should talk with English-speaking people. That's essential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because studying grammar is also essential, is very important, but you have actually to use this grammar.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Have to practice it, and you have really to learn through your mistakes.
Yeah, totally agree.
I have the vast majority of the things that I've learned in my spoken English, I learned them through mistakes. I learned them, sometimes painfully, because you say something silly from a grammatical point of view, and you see people laughing or giggling,
Yeah, you're reminding me. Have you seen the video on YouTube, the Italian guy from Malta, or the Italian guy in Malta?
No, I don't think so.
You might find it funny. I'll send it over afterwards. It's quite amusing. Okay.
Yeah, at the beginning, I felt like, I don't know if you know, Faulty Towers. Manual,
No, I totally know.
English. I learned it from a book. So they need to interact with people. And what another suggestion is, I think they need a tutor, you or of course, we are here to promote you. So you, so you first of all, and you're busy. Another guy.
Yeah, I've got my hand on the hang up button, you know. So just say it. I dare you, man. Nah, just joking. No.
Yeah, I'm joking too. Sorry. But anyway, yeah, they need someone, an English-speaking person who knows IELTS very well, as you do. I think it's essential because I would have never known certain things that I got to know through you. So the guide and through your corrections and other stuff. So I think these two elements, interactions with English speakers and a tutor or a teacher, something like this, that gives you feedbacks, interactive feedbacks.
Yeah, feedback to improve, to build on the essays and the knowledge that you need to write strong, coherent essays.
Yes.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Well,
and also they, don't give up, because I understand for many people it's emotionally very challenging. I could see some people struggling really emotionally during the test. So there were people praying. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
So, emotional point of view is can be very difficult. So
yeah.
Go on, keep on going, don't get discouraged. You can do it if you study carefully and systematically.
Absolutely, yeah. Fantastic advice there, Marco. Well, thank you very much for doing that, for doing this interview.
Thanks for listening to IELTSpodcast.com.